Okay guys, thanks for sticking around. So in the last video, we talked about building a website using WordPress. Well, first of all, what is WordPress? WordPress is a content management system that was designed using PHP. Don't worry about what is PHP and all that grammar. All you have to focus on is building your website using WordPress. That's all. So we have two different types of WordPress. We have WordPress.com and we have WordPress.org. So WordPress.com enables you to build your site as fast as possible, but you're restricted to what you have to do or what you can do on your website. You're restricted to the amount of plugins you can use and the themes you can use. You cannot even build your own theme yourself on WordPress.com. But with WordPress.org, you are attaining the availability. You are giving, with WordPress.org, you are given free range to do as you will. You can build your theme, you can integrate whatever plugins you want to integrate. You can go wild with your imagination. That's the beauty of WordPress.org. And that is what I'm going to be showing you in our class today. Okay. So as you can see on my screen, I have WordPress.com and WordPress.org opened. So with WordPress.org, like I earlier stated, you can build your website using that platform. It's that simple. And I'll be taking you through the process of building your website using WordPress.org. Now, the next thing you need to think about whenever you want to start a new web project is your design. What do I want to build? How do I want to build it? What colors do I want to use? How should my logos be designed? I will show you the simple tool I use to build and design a logo in less than 5 minutes. One of my favorite free websites is called Logo Maker. So with freelogodesign.org, you can design any logo of your choice and you don't pay anything. So for example, if you're building for a new client and you want to design a logo for, let's say, a logistics company, you go to freelogodesigns.com and you type the name of the company, let's say Desmond Logistics. So we type Desmond Logistics and we choose a category. Let's say we want it to have a vehicle in there and we click Get Started. Immediately we'll be given different options of logos to choose from. So you can choose whichever one you want, change the color and download on your system. It's that simple. So let's choose, this looks nice. Let's choose this and let's stick with what color? Let's go with green and red. So we come to color and pick red. It changes to red. Then you can download this color or this logo onto your system by clicking download button. So as soon as your logo is saved, you can either download for free or you can pay for it, but like I said, it's going to be for free. So you click free, download, you input your name and your email address. So immediately this will be sent to your email, but it is also downloaded on your system. So click download my free logo and voila, your logo is there. So this is your logo created in less than 2 minutes. So the next thing you need to know or you need to decide is what kind of website do I want to build? For a graphics design head like me, I like to look at different websites for inspiration. So if you want to build a logistics website, what's your favorite logistics website that you know of? You go to that website and you check it out. What are they doing that you can emulate for your own website? If you want to build a fashion house, for example, what are those things that they are doing that you can emulate for your own website? One of the favorite websites I like is called Dribble or Behance.net. So Behance is a stockpile of different designs done by different graphic designers that you can choose from. You can see a website you like and say, okay, I want to emulate that for my own website. And of course, it's free. Everything I'm going to teach you in this course will be for free. So when you go to Behance.net, let's say you type Behance.net, BEHANCE.net. You go to Behance.net, immediately you are seeing a couple of images, projects, web designs to choose from. So you can choose whichever project you want. Let's say we want to choose a portfolio website. And let's see what pops up. Okay, so we have a couple. So previously, I already have this opened up. So this is what we're going to try to build in 30 minutes. So this is a portfolio website that is showing about the person, what the person's brand is doing, different projects they've done, and a contact page. So we'll try to emulate this using WordPress. So now you have your logo. Now you have your design. What next? Domain. And like I earlier said, domain and web hosting is very, very important when building a website. If you choose the wrong web hosting company, you can be in so much turmoil that your website will either be hacked or you have issues with support. So I advise you to make extensive research when you're choosing a hosting company. Two of my favorite hosting companies are Namecheap and Hostinger. I've used Namecheap for the past 5 years. It's reliable. They have an impressive customer service, and their domains are actually cheaper compared to other platforms. So let's say we want to buy a domain on Namecheap. We'll just go to Namecheap, like the name is cheap, namecheap.com, and click enter. So immediately we see a screen where we can actually choose from which name we want to choose. Let's say we're sticking with Desmond Logistics. So let's say desmondlogistics.com. And immediately we see a couple of options that we could choose from. We can see desmondlogistics.com. We could see desmondlogistics.net. We could see .tv, .org, whatever. So now we want to choose a cheap domain. Let's say we want a domain of $1. $1 is about 500 naira. So we see desmondlogistics.xyz. That's for $1. We can actually go for cheaper, for more expensive ones, for 2 or 3 or 5, depending on what you want to go for. We're going $1. So when we see the domain that we want to pay for, we'll click add to cart. We'll click add to cart. Then we'll click view cart. Understand. Okay. Then we'll click view item. So now we can actually pay for our domain, but we have to get a hosting. Now you might be confused, what is a domain and what is a hosting? So let's use the analogy of a house. If you buy a house or if you're renting an apartment, you're given an address. So that address is how they can find you if anybody's trying to look for you or visit you. So your house address is your domain. That's where you're staying. So your domain is the address for your website. So DesmondLogistics.xyz is Desmond's address online. That's what they use to find Desmond Logistics online. Now the domain is where the hosting is where that domain stays for the period it's online. So for example, let's say I want to get an apartment. There are 3 different kinds of apartment I can get. I can get either a shared apartment. A shared apartment is I get a flat and I share the payment between my friends. So I get a 3-bedroom apartment and I share the payment. That's called a shared apartment. Same thing applies to shared hosting. Shared hosting is whereby you and a couple of strangers you do not know are paying for one server. You guys attributed different shared spaces, different storage spaces for yourself. So that's a shared hosting. Then we have dedicated servers. For those people that they want to buy a house. I want to buy a house and I don't want to share with anybody. That's called a dedicated server. Means that I want to get my own thing. I do not want to share space, share storage, or share bandwidth with anybody. So for today, we're going to be using a shared hosting. I advise shared hosting if you're going for smaller companies or startups or smaller businesses because you don't pay much and it's cost effective. So the next thing we're going to do is actually we're going to pick a hosting plan. Like I earlier mentioned, we're going to pick a shared hosting plan. So click on shared hosting. Then like you can see, we have different options. We have one for $1 per month, we have for 2 per month, or we have for 4 per month. So for the cost, we're going to be taking the one for 1.58 per month. Then click on get started and it's immediately added to our cart. So the reason why we're seeing 19.62 here is because it's been attributed for 1 year. But you can switch it up to 1 month if you like. Then click add to cart. Then you can pay with anything. You can pay with PayPal, you can pay with your card. But we're not going to do that because we already have domains that we can use. So now we have our domain, we have our hosting plan, we have our logo, and we have our design inspiration. So the next thing is to build the website. Stick around while we continue this journey together.